London is a city built over centuries of bones. But in the dark, forgotten corners of the metropolis lie places where the dead refuse to sleep. Highgate Cemetery is a massive, sprawling labyrinth of decaying Gothic tombs, suffocated by twisted ivy and deep shadows. In the winter of 19-60-9, the creeping silence of the graveyard was shattered. Locals began reporting something completely unnatural stalking the overgrown pathways at night. It was described as a terrifying 7-foot-tall dark silhouette with piercing, glowing eyes that radiated pure, freezing evil. Then, the bodies of animals started appearing across the cemetery. They had not been attacked by wild dogs. They had been completely, meticulously drained of their blood. What started as local whispers quickly spiraled into a citywide frenzy. Welcome to classified Britannia. Today, we open the restricted files on the most terrifying mass hysteria in modern British history. The London Vampire. Chapter I, The Awakening. The terror began with a simple letter to the local newspaper. A young resident asked if anyone else had seen the ghost of Highgate Cemetery. The response was overwhelming. Dozens of terrifying accounts flooded in from people who had walked past the cemetery's heavy iron gates at night. One man claimed a tall, dark entity suddenly materialized behind the locked gates, causing his body to freeze completely in absolute terror. Another witness saw a dark figure floating effortlessly over the 10-foot-high stone walls, disappearing into the dense fog of the graveyard. But the most chilling encounter happened to a woman walking her dog. She was violently thrown to the ground by a sudden, icy force. When she looked up, she saw a towering figure in a long, dark cloak, staring down at her with a face devoid of humanity. The police were completely powerless against a suspect that seemed to defy the laws of physics. But the vacuum of authority soon attracted a different kind of investigator. Chapter 2, The Witch Hunters. As the police struggled, two rival occult investigators stepped into the nightmare. Sean Manchester and David Farrant. They boldly declared that this was no simple ghost. They claimed it was a king vampire, an ancient demonic entity resurrected from the Victorian era by modern Satanists. The British press exploded. Newspaper headlines screamed of a real-life vampire feeding in the heart of London. The media circus turned a local mystery into a national panic. And it all culminated on the terrifying night of Friday the 13th, March 1970. Driven by sensationalist media and primal fear, an angry mob of over 1,000 Londoners descended upon the cemetery. Armed with wooden stakes, crosses, and torches, they climbed the heavy iron gates, defying police orders. It was a scene straight out of a medieval nightmare happening in the modern 20th century capital. The mob ravaged the graveyard, smashing ancient tombs open and dragging rotting coffins out into the moonlight in a desperate hunt for the monster. Chapter 3, The Satanic Cult. The mob found no vampire that night, but the devastation they left behind uncovered something far more sinister. Deep inside the broken vaults, investigators found undeniable evidence of dark, ritualistic black magic. Candles, occult symbols drawn in fresh chalk, and the decapitated remains of foxes. Was the Highgate vampire merely a mass hallucination, born from the dense, creepy atmosphere of the Gothic graveyard? Or was the panic intentionally orchestrated by a powerful underground satanic cult? Some historians believe the cult needed the cemetery isolated at night to conduct their horrifying rituals. To keep the public away, they fabricated the terrifying legend of a vampire, using cloaks and psychological terror to guard their dark secrets. But the locals who looked into those glowing, unnatural eyes still swear that what they saw was not human. The conclusion: today, the heavy iron gates of Highgate Cemetery are firmly locked at night. The overgrown ivy has been cleared, and guided tours walk the paths where the mob once hunted a monster. But the true identity of the 7-foot shadow has never been solved. The police closed their files, dismissing it as media-fueled hysteria. Yet, deep within the ancient, crumbling catacombs that the sunlight never reaches, the heavy, oppressive feeling of being watched remains. Was it a demonic entity, an elaborate cult cover-up, or the collective madness of an entire city? Mainstream media will ignore the anomalies. Subscribe to Classified Britannia and turn on notifications for more deep dives